presenting Channeling Erik's Hour of Enlightenment.
Hello all. Thank you guys for being such loyal listeners every Tuesday, or almost every Tuesday. We try to do it. We try to keep it up. And today we're going to have really a cool a topic about trusting your own inner voice. And the amazing Denise Ramon at DeniseRamon.com is here to help channel Erik and also to obviously give her own wisdom. I will say that I grappled with this even before Erik died. I'll give you one example. We have a friend, a dear friend, that's a psychic, right? So anyway, we were about to go to, I think Cozumel, just, for a vacation. We only had Christina and Michelle then, and I just had this weird feeling that something horrible was going to happen. Fear, and I just got all whatever. I think I was probably pregnant with Erik at that time, and I went to some stupid, not a very good psychic over on Westheimer, and it just did not work out, and I just didn't know what to do. So I told Rudy, we need to change the flight, so let's go somewhere else. So I said, okay, let's go to the Cayman Islands. And so we did, and he went scuba diving. Oh, yeah, I was pregnant because I couldn't go scuba diving because, I don't know, that pressure might just pop everything inside there. So Rudy was taking a long time to get back with the boat of the scuba divers. And so I said, Michelle, Christina, y'all sit on this picnic bench. I'm going to go over. There's a guy that is scuba diving with another scuba diving boat. So I went over there and asked him, when is so-and-so's boat going to come back? And he said, I don't know. So I turned back, and it was only Christina on the picnic bench. And it was really pretty far away from the water's edge. It was just like, there was Michelle, like 2 years old, face down in the water, unconscious. Ugh. And I swear to God, I did not know how a pregnant woman could fly horizontally like that so quickly. So, I got her out of there and felt like a really bad mother. Of course I was. And, I had to resuscitate her. And it was awful. And then, in the airport waiting room on the way back, Michelle was going from one person to another. Are you a stranger? Because my mommy doesn't want me to talk to strangers. No, I'm not a stranger. Oh, okay. Well, I drowned and my mommy saved me. And she would go from one person to the next, just letting this horrible story, and they were like looking at me like, what the, what? Anyway, so, but, I didn't know how to trust. Is this really me channeling this, or is it just fear? So, anyway, I'll leave with that.
I think that was your intuitiveness. I really
maybe
do.
Maybe it would have been a fatal thing had we not just changed use free will to just change the destination. I don't know.
Erik says you shifted the energy.
Good.
Yeah. But that is your intuitiveness. I've had it to where I was driving back from Florida to here, and I knew if I kept going, I was going to end up dead. And before I even left my mother's house and I was saying goodbye, I was saying goodbye to everyone. And I was just like, this is so weird. It's like my last goodbye. And I remember as I was driving, and I remember thinking, well, at least I don't have to pay off those credit cards now. And I just knew. But then something said, you have to stop. And then all of a sudden, my tail lights went out, and it was getting dark. So I turned off, and I waited about 3 hours, and then I knew it was okay to go. And my lights worked and everything after that. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it was, and there's been other things. It's your intuitiveness. It's where you thinking it's in your stomach, your gut, or whatever you want to call it, and it's not in your head, and it's not in your head. But Erik says, but we try to reason it with our head, and that's where it's like putting a positive and a negative, the magnets, trying to get them to stick, and they're not because you got the wrong ends going. And he says it's why you go like, oh, I better not. Oh, this is, you keep going back and forth. He says you're arguing with your inner guidance, your gut instinct, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and anyway, I forgot to say, the reason I said we have a dear friend that's a psychic is because she is the one that said, you better go to another place, not close enough. So I forgot to put that in. All right, so talk to us more about this whole topic, Erik.
But he says, more and more people are investigating it. He says more books are popping off the shelves, or audiobooks are popping onto devices and stuff, about this, because more people, he says, since the COVID started, more people are starting to, they want to know more about themselves, and they're starting to investigate that intuitiveness, that that inner knowing, whatever you choose to call it. And he says more people are investigating it because they're knowing now that people are finding out that they really can't trust anything. So now they're being forced to go within some way, shape, or form. So more people are starting to go with that. And some people are doing it the more spirity way. Some people are doing it the more softer way, like to where they're just wanting to reflect on themselves and not call it spirity self-growth or whatever. But more people are going in that direction because they're starting to know that there's some truth in everything that's going on, and they're wanting to know the truth. He says so they're going within, and we're doing it all different ways.
Like the external world, in the world of COVID, has sort of betrayed us. All the things that we thought they were telling us, well, not all, but some of the things were like, nope, most are right after all. And so we're like, okay, well, where do I turn to for answers? Maybe I need to reflect, and maybe I need to tap into my intuition. Do you feel like people are more intuitive, or at least more in touch with their intuition than like, I don't know, 50 years ago or less?
Erik says there's definitely, he says more people are aware of their awakeness, because he says we're already awake. It's just that we don't have the awareness of it. And he says more of us are becoming more aware, and it's because things have shifted so much to where we question everything. He says, there's still some people that don't want to question anything. They want someone else to tell them everything.
Organized religion, yes.
Mm-hmm. And he says, and that's okay, because there's enough of you to do what you do. And he says, and by you following your own guidance in that, he says, believe it or not, it's helping everyone else to find it too, because that just vibrationally, he just shows me how it just goes out, because we're all connected. So he says, and more and people are asking, like meditations are becoming more popular, breath work is becoming more popular. He says that gentleman you had on, I don't know when it was, he says that did breath work and stuff like that, because all of this brings you back to self. Yeah. And all different things. He says anything and everything that where you're focusing on you, of something that you like, he says it's bringing you back to self, and it's helping you to listen to that intuitiveness. I'm not going to say who it is, because who knows if they're listening and they're not channeling Erik, but they could be related to me, but doesn't really get this stuff, and they called me and said that they just had this thought of someone for a few weeks, and they decided to call this person, and that person said, oh yeah, I'm coming into town. Wow. And it was like, wow, I knew this.
That's cool. I mean, I think a lot of us have had those situations where you just start thinking of somebody you haven't thought about for ages, and all of a sudden they call on the telephone, like minutes later. So we all have the power of intuition.
Yeah.
Is there a difference between being psychic and intuitive, or is it the same?
Erik says it's the same. It's just a different. It's just. He says it's really one and the same.
Okay.
It's really one and the same one. Because you're both connecting the source in that. He says it's to the same, but in a way it's used different. The intuitiveness, you're using it for you, psychic. He says some people are using. He says it's really one and the same. It's really not different. It's just different on how you use it.
Right. Psychics. The inference is that they're doing it professionally, and just being intuitive. Of course, it's interchangeable. Is like you're doing it for yourself. So, Is there anything about the age of Aquarius, us being in the age of Aquarius, that has anything to do with intuitive awakening of people now, Erik?
He's over here just singing and dancing. And he said yes. He said it does, because this is a time. Yeah, he's saying this is a time like the way he's of the awakening. For us to take off the blinders. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of stuff is coming in our face that we don't want to see, and it's coming out into the open. He's showing me, and so yes, and because we're not going backwards, he says we're really going forward. It may look like it's going backwards, but we're moving forward.
Wow.
And he says, and if we would all just jump on the bandwagon of, he goes, or even just half of us would jump on the bandwagon, he says, and just start following our own intuitiveness and just connecting with that, he says the shift would happen a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, why do people resist? Or some people?
Fear. Well, he says fear, like,
because
what we know is, we know what we already know is comfortable, even though it's not comfortable. But we know what to expect, and fear of the unknown. Some people have a fear of good things happening, and it goes down to the trust. And he says, and that's one of the things about following your intuitiveness, that going within. It's about trust.
Trusting your voice.
Yeah, trusting you, trusting oneself, because we've been taught not to trust ourselves. Yeah.
And I think some of that is just, I don't know, just the powers that be, whether it's organized religion or government officials. We're taught that, there's something external that we have to trust at the expense of our trust in our own inner voice. So can you subscribe to organized religion and still be okay with trusting your inner voice, Erik?
He said yes. He says yes. He said for some are going to be more difficult because some are very
entrenched,
very intertwined. Like it's just you can't really get in there and do. It's just so the knots are so tight you can't even untie them. He said so it would be real hard with some, but he says there are some, yes, it's kind of like picking fruit at the grocery store. You pick out what you want and you leave the rest,
right.
And it
We're
just
the
depends.
ice cream. We eat all we can and sell the rest. Yeah. Is there any kind of background, like childhood rearing, etc., that makes people more or less trusting of their own inner voice?
Well, Erik says, growing up, depending on if you grew up in a safe environment, because he says who raises you are the people you're supposed to trust, and when that's broken, he says, then you just don't know what to trust, and so and you just keep going into circles of distrust, and you don't trust yourself because it's pointed out to you not to trust, and you just keep perpetuating that. But he says, but then again, you can grow up in a family where it's not a lot of craziness and stuff, but it's hard to, when you're different, he says sometimes it can be challenging to trust that it's going to be okay. Because you see everybody, like, he says, like sometimes some of these, not all, he says, but some of these kids he's showing me that are like super smart, like IQ high.
Yeah.
And they kind of lack social skills in a way because they're so intelligent. It's hard to relate to someone who's 12 when they're got the intelligence way out there. And they're being told, it's going to get better, but it doesn't get better year after year after year. So they learn to stay to oneself. And what they don't realize is that in 10 years it's going to be different, and because 10 years is a long time when you're 12 or something. And, there's, I know that just from the work I do, sometimes people who are adopted that can grow up in a very loving home still have that, and it's because it comes from within. And I've done a few sessions with people with channeling Erik and not channeling Erik people where it was shown to me how what they picked up was not really theirs. It was picked up from within the mother's womb, and that was theirs. And so, but until you gotta work through that, but it's about trusting. And Erik says, and ask yourself, whose is this? Is this mine or is it someone else's?
Yeah. And I think that's a really good question to ask all the time. Is this me or is it coming from someplace else? Like when you get into a room, in an office building or whatever, a store, and you feel this really dysphoric feeling, you have to ask yourself, is this me or is it something? Maybe somebody had a big argument in that space like hours before or whatever. So, constantly ask yourself, is this me or is it from someplace else? Are there any types of mental illnesses that people are diagnosed with a mental illness that really are not mentally ill, but they're just highly intuitive, Erik?
Oh, yes, he said definitely.
Like what? What kind of diagnoses would misdiagnoses, I'll say, would a somebody who really is in tune to their inner voice, what do they often get misdiagnosed with?
Depression.
Why?
Because usually the people who get diagnosed aren't aware of what's going on with them. So they're, when the people who are real in tune and like can pick things up and go and not being able to separate it, they go into a state of depression because they don't know that that's theirs. Erik says some people can bipolar. I thought I had multiple personalities for a long time.
Other people?
Yes, I didn't know.
Yeah, I bet.
And I remember asking the therapist when I was going to some therapy in my 30s. I was like, "Are you sure I don't have multiple personalities?" I knew I wasn't schizophrenic because I knew what that was. So and then and I knew I was a healer, but I didn't know a healer was a medium.
Yeah.
And then when I found out, I was like, "Oh my God!" So that's what it is. But go ahead. No, go ahead. No, but Erik says, it just, and some people have anxiety and, where they're in anxiety, where they're just panic attacks and that's because they're picking up on source, God, whatever you want to call it. And you're picking up on that and you just don't know that.
Yeah. Wow, that's tough. So, what makes a person more prone to being highly intuitive, to being more highly trusting of their own inner voice? not being intuitive, but actually trusting in their intuition? It's something about child rearing. I mean, anything. What makes that happen?
Erik says for some, they just heard that inner voice. They just could feel it in spite of whatever else was going on. They just knew. And he says, and they just never forgot that. And then as they get older, they realize, they then start to know what that is called. Then they can start putting a vocabulary and start reading up on it. Erik says some of us are supposed to just come in and use it. And because there's a direct, he says, line for us to do this work and this, because we're here to do something. And he says, we have some pretty remarkable people that are well known that, that this was their mission to do with the work that they do. And people who are not famous come in to do this work, because he says there's a lot of people that do a lot of intuitive work within their own selves and help others that we don't even hear about because they choose not to. Well, that
makes sense. Yeah, sometimes, I get that as a doctor. I feel what's wrong with the patient. I'll tell them I'm getting this in my inner voice. But, it helps me diagnose a few patients. So inner voice, what is that? Is that you tapping into your higher self? Is it you channeling from spirit, information from spirit? What is the inner voice? I guess we should have started out with that.
Well, he said it is your higher self. It is your direct line to consciousness, to source,
what do you mean?
To God. It's like you're in alignment with your authentic self. He's showing me with your higher self, which is within, the consciousness, God consciousness, whatever you source, spirit, whatever you choose to call it. He says you're in alignment with it, because when you're in alignment with your higher self, you cannot not be in alignment with source, because it's all one. It's all connected.
So that's different than just channeling from your guides and all that stuff. That's just channeling and mediumship. That is not like inner voice stuff, right? He
says, like right now what I'm doing is I'm connected to my higher self, and I'm definitely connected to source, but I'm listening to him.
Okay. I see. I get it.
But he says, but then again, I'm connected to source, so it's all one.
It's all one.
But I'm connected I'm listening to him and his energy and what he's telling me.
Okay. So how can one tell this is definitely my inner voice versus this is something external? Because there's so much external crap telling us, you believe this, not your own inner voice. You believe this, that. So how can you differentiate, Erik? I guess that's the ultimate question here.
Well, and Erik has told me before, because spirit, and then he says anybody in spirit, they're never going to talk to you ugly. They're never going to say hateful things. That's your ego. Mm. So if it doesn't come in a loving way, then it's not spirit. That is your ego. And that's a time he says to just stop what you're doing, go get a drink of water, and just take a couple of deep breaths and then start again. And he says, and it's usually whatever comes in first is your intuitiveness, your higher self, whatever. And then when you start hearing that chitter chatter, that's our ego coming in.
Yeah. Or it could be some darker energies coming in and telling you stuff.
Well, Erik says this is why you want to do some type of protection. And even when I do my work, I just always ask God and all the beings of light to be present during this session.
Yeah, that's good. So are there any other hints that, that's my inner voice? I mean, like you feel it in a certain feeling in one of the chakras, or any other ways to differentiate?
He says you feel it in the lower part of your body. He says, he goes, practice with it. He says, because when we're coming from a place of ego, like, oh, I really want to go do this, it's kind of like he says, you want to go eat half of a chocolate cake, and that just sounds so good and everything. And then there's the other part of you that's like, oh, I better not. I'm really trying to lose the last 5 pounds. I ought not to. But that other part's saying, no, just go on. Remember how it tastes so good, and it's probably not going to be good the next day. He says, listen to that part, because that part is coming from the outer part of you. It's coming like from the top of your head,
Right.
And
you can feel like an absolute truth to me. I feel it, I guess, in my solar plexus, like this weird, like just right there. This is truth. This is my truth. Any other techniques or practical advice on this subject, Erik, before we take callers?
He says practice. Practice
Yeah.
with it. Like, just start. He says, like, when you have a thought of somebody, just like see how that feels, and then see what happens in the next day or two.
And where it feels. Yeah.
And he says, sometimes when you're going in directions and tells you or whatever it is, says turn right, and what's left, but you turn right anyway, like feel that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's like I just felt like I needed to call one of my relatives. I can't divulge, but somebody with insulin-dependent diabetes, and I asked her, how are your blood sugars? I texted her, actually. And she says, oh, my God. And she went on to this whole story where she was talking with a friend from Canada, and her friend kept saying, are you okay? What's wrong? And all of a sudden, ding dong, there's 911. She had gotten the emergency contact again. Her blood sugar was super low, like 30 something. And but I just said I never asked her how her blood sugars are. Okay, so it's that kind of thing. I get it.
Yeah, and you're very intuitive. You're very intuitive. He says.
Oh.
He says you were intuitive before he transitioned over. Even he says because you used it in your practice, and because you used it in raising us kids. He says.
Yes. I totally get that. Yep. Erik, is there anything else, or Denise, anything else you want to share before we take callers?
Erik says, and I agree with him, he says, have fun with it. He says, so what if you're wrong? You're never going to be 100% correct all the time.
No.
Sometimes you make mistakes at work. He says, you're not always going to be accurate with this. And that is true. That is true.
Yeah, of course. What's the fun in being perfect and right all the time? Then you don't grow. Come on. We got to mess up. Failure is just stepping stones to success. It's...
Well, Erik says what happens is people don't think that they have these abilities.
Oh, everybody
and Erik has told me, and Spirit has told me, we would never come here if we didn't. It'd be like someone asking you, Elisa, to drive from where you are now to New York without a GPS, a map, or some kind of a compass or whatever. He said, our intuitiveness is our GPS. He said,
right.
And he says, we're all learning how to use it. Some are a little further along than some, but that doesn't mean that they're better at it or they know how to do it. It's practice. Some people have a 6-pack of abs and some people don't. And he says,
I'm one of those that don't.
Same here.
I mean, so this inner voice, that's our spiritual GPS then. I like it.
Yes, he said you can use it like at the grocery store. Like, I don't know I wonder what aisle that's on, and just listen.
Yeah.
He goes, just listen for a second. He said you can use it, start using it like, he said at the grocery store. He goes, just start doing that.
All right. Well, I Instacart, so no way. I never go anywhere in my car except to get my hair done, and that's out for date night with my hubby. All right, let's go ahead and start taking callers.
Okay.
I got one. I'm going to take this. It looks like it could be an international call. 614-171, and I won't say the rest. Hi there. How you doing?
Hi, it's Serena. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing fine.
Hi, Serena.
Where are you calling from, Serena? I recognize your voice.
I'm from Australia. How are you?
Oh, nice.
Oh. That's why I wanted to pick you first. I didn't want you to be on the phone too long.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
How can we help you, Serena?
Yes. I spoke in August with Michelle and Erik, and I was asking about the sale of my home. So I had it on the market, and I took it to auction, and it didn't sell. And I thought that Erik said that it would be successful, but now I'm sort of getting a little bit concerned. So
free will, from others. But
I know. I wish I could trust my intuition.
So what's going on, Erik? What did you do?
Erik says it is going to sell, but he says there's a part of you that has some fear that it's not going to happen. And it's like, even though you know it's going to happen, you're just like, what if it doesn't happen? He said, so just start envisioning it already happening. Be mindful of your thoughts. Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot relying on this sale, and I think that's why I have my doubts, because I'm like, oh, what if it doesn't? And then I think of the worst. So I think that's what it is. And that's where I'm trying to trust my intuition. But so the whole...
Well, just feel, act like, and think like, and feel like it's already sold. And just maybe a mantra.
Okay.
And feeling, celebrating, envisioning, hey, get some champagne, pop the cork and say, yay, the papers have been signed, it's awesome.
They are working on someone at the moment. I'm just wondering if they're the people that you think will sell, and whether it will sell this month or next month. Do you have any indication? Or
Erik says start practicing seeing it, letting it go, and envision the family that you would love to have come in, or the type of person you would love to own your home. He said start doing that. He goes, start massaging it, and he says, and you have opened the doors when you're doing that.
Yeah, beware your thoughts. Okay. Beware your thoughts. The fear of not selling it can be a hindrance. So, just imagine it and feel like it's already happened. All right, Serena, thanks for calling, darling. Okay. Let us know. Call back when it's sold.
Okay.
And we'll get 10% right.
Thank you.
Just kidding. Bye, Serena.
Thank you. Bye.
You're so welcome. Thank you. I love the Australian accent. I really do. Okay, let's see. We have somebody from the 212 area code. Hi there. How you doing?
Oh, hello. This is Bryn from New York City.
Oh, yes.
Calling.
Hi.
Hi, Bryn.
Hi. How are you? Just calling. I started the day off with a bad sleep last night. I didn't have a very good sleep, and all day I just been feeling really off and unmotivated. Now I think I know what happens when I get closer to the full moon. I get very sensitive to the full moon energies, and they get a little agitated.
Yeah, you're very sensitive, and you're an artist too, correct?
Yeah, and I think
exactly.
I'm feeling the eclipse coming on Friday too. So my question is, I just want to know what's going on, or what Erik has to say, if I'm something I'm not doing, or something I need to do. I haven't been doing nothing all day.
Is his inner voice telling him something that he needs to pay attention to? So what's going on, Erik, with Brent?
Well, Erik says there has to be a little bit more, like not, the sleep and stuff like that. It's like, don't let that determine your day. And he says, so you're going. Sometimes when you have moments like that, he says you're going to just have to do some extra grounding for you, and be real mindful about the places you interact. You go or whatever, and just because people all the time, not consciously doing it, but they're dumping off stuff that doesn't feel good to them. And then it's people like you that pick it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's not your stuff.
Right.
No.
Right.
So yeah, you're probably the kind of person that kind of has one part of your spirit in the spirit world, your soul in the spirit world, and one on the earthly plane. So you probably do need to be ground yourself more often than a lot of people.
Yeah, I've been doing that lately. I don't know. I guess I need to do it more. It's just been a very off day. I just been feeling very unmotivated and.
Oh, what about tourmaline? You can buy on Amazon.
Oh yeah, no, I have a lot of black tourmaline with me. Yeah, I use that.
No, but I mean, what I do is I put it like in every, and I put 6 of them under my mattress.
Right.
It super helps. And
okay.
one of my grandkids, oh my God, colic, horrible, just never could sleep. Boom, black tourmaline in several places on the crib mattress, and no problem.
Okay.
So yeah, and there are actually grounding sheets that you can buy that you plug into the ground. I didn't get one because it's expensive, but whatever.
Yeah.
So so grounding would be probably pretty important. You probably pick up a lot of other people's energy, and yeah.
Yeah, I do.
And Erik says also be gentle with yourself when you're having an off day. Just like, okay, I'm not feeling it today, and just go do something that's soothing for yourself.
Yeah, I feel like, Brent, you're too hard on yourself. I feel it. You're too hard on yourself.
I get very hard on it.
What a lovely person you are. And why are you the last person to realize that? You are a lovely person. And you are divine. You are a whole and part of God. Okay? You are love.
Yeah.
So just don't forget that, the vastness of your divinity and your power.
Sure.
Okay?
All right. Thank you.
Thank
you very much.
Bye. Always liked him. He calls in from time to time. And I think he's a really...
I remember him.
Yeah, he's so sweet. 630 area code. Hi there. How you doing?
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Well, it's a pleasure. Thank you for calling in. So what can we do for you first name, and how can we help you?
I also talked to Erik in August, and he actually helped me find my fabulous new apartment that I'm in. So, thank you.
What's your first name, babe?
My name is Dion.
Okay, Dion. Hi, Dion. Beautiful name.
Hi. Thank you. So I recently, in the last couple of months, have been transitioning into a different career. I own a business, but I wanted to start working with another company again just because I'm tired of working by myself. In any event, I had an interview that was canceled for this morning, and that was a bummer. But the other job that I really wanted that pays some good money, I checked the job board listing, and right now my resume is under consideration. Does that look like that one's good? I know, I'm so excited about that one. Because that one I would get, benefits.
Hey, you already
and
know your inner voice is telling you, girl. Okay, so what is it, Erik? What do you have to say?
He says, good one, Mom. He says, you caught that. And he said, yes, she already knows. So with the job that was canceled today, you were able to see, and he goes, and this is a good point of reference for when other things come around in your life that don't work out. You're going to be able to reflect back on this day and go, oh, I remember when that one job canceled, and that left the room open for something else to come through.
So it's like the old adage, when God closes the door, he opens the window, that kind of thing, right?
Exactly.
Wow.
Erik says he thinks it's another door, Mom. That's what he said.
Okay, well, I don't know these adages. Okay. All right, well, good. Let us know what happens.
Yeah, Dion. So just keep that energy going, Erik says. Just keep it going.
Yeah, act like you already have it. See yourself, again, champagne bottle, shaking the hands of the final interview. Yay, you're on, man. Just keep those thoughts in your mind.
Okay, thank you.
You're so welcome.
So welcome. Bye. Okay, let's see. We got 919 area code. Hi there. How you doing?
Hi. Thank you so much for taking the call.
My
name is Sandra K, but I go by my middle name K. I'm calling from Georgia.
Okay.
And my question, the issue, I've been in like the last caller. I am waiting to hear back from a job interview. It was an amazing job interview that I had, and I'm really excited about it. The job I'm in now is really very difficult, and it's caused a lot of stress in my body, which I have allowed to the point where I've been sick, couldn't sleep. But I had a shift on Friday. It was just one of those, I've got to change this. So I started meditating more like I normally do, but still meditating, and I started journaling. And I started doing a gratitude list, the things that I'm grateful for this job, despite what's going on. And I don't sleep well, but I listen. I do meditation before I go to sleep. And last night, which I noticed has been happening, I wake up a lot during the middle of the night, but try to make myself back to sleep. But last night, it was something happened. I was almost asleep, but I was asleep, but not yet asleep, that kind of thing. And there was a whisper in my ear. It said, "You got the job." And the whisper told me the salary. And it was almost startling. It was almost startling, but and then it was like a whisper, and then it said, "Go back to sleep. Now rest." That's what it said, now rest. And I could feel my body actually sinking. I could feel my body sinking into the mattress. And I'm getting goosebumps now talking about it. Was that my mom? What was that?
Who was that?
Well, first of all, Erik says, so even though you've said it on the radio, just don't keep that little nugget to yourself. And you know how it, because you really can't put into, because you know how you like not to, it's kind of like keep that little nugget to yourself. He says, you know how you can't really put into words that feeling you had when you got that information? So keep that to yourself and just like bathe in that feeling that you had.
Enjoy it.
Yes. So when you go to your job that you're still at, take that nugget with you. And that Erik says, not only was that your mother, that was the angelic realm, that was your higher self, that was source, all coming in.
Wow.
Because you have done a lot of inner work on yourself.
Yes.
And this was just, sometimes we get these little nuggets to say, here you go. And it allows you to rest a little bit. And this here,
that's your reward, girl.
And this right here, Erik says, is what you needed so you continue to practice your meditation, because there's something even bigger down the road. Now you know this stuff isn't just for somebody else, that they get the stuff. Now you know you get it too.
Wow. Okay.
Congratulations, girl.
I know.
It just, one last thing, the meditation I was listening to was self-hypnosis to your higher self. So, confirmation.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Wow. I know.
So, Erik says just keep doing it. And keep that, don't try to explain that yumminess you felt during all of that. Keep that to yourself for a while.
As a sacred, personal thing. Now that over 100,000 people know here, but that's okay. That's okay. She didn't really get into the mix of it. No. So keep that to yourself, because that's especially good for you, Kay.
Wow. Thank you so much. Oh, my God. Thank you.
For you.
I listen to you guys weekly, and this is the first time I've been able to get through. I listen to you weekly, so it was like perfect timing. So thank you.
Oh,
thank you.
Glad you did, darling. Oh, I'm so proud of her. I'm so excited for her. Oh, my gosh.
That is take care, Kay.
Awesome. Oh, my God.
That is so good, isn't it? I love it.
Yes. All right, 519 area code. Hi there. How you doing?
Hi there. My name's Jennifer. I'm calling from Canada.
Hey, Jennifer from Canada.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I made a decision, a medical decision for myself, but it means that I'm not working without any pay. Was it the right decision? How long will I be off for? Will I be going back to the same job?
So you made the decision based on medical reasons?
No, I made a medical decision, and the result was I am off work without pay. So,
I got you. Okay. Is it vaccine related?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Oh God, I hate that. So sorry.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I know.
It's ridiculous. Big brother, baby.
Well,
Eric no kidding. Yeah.
Erik says, well, he says there's a lot going on in this. And he says this is about your intuitiveness. It's about really going in and just being real clear with yourself about not wanting the vaccine, just being real clear with that. And when you get real clear with that, and it's not because of anything else is being said, just know like this was based only on what you wanted. He says it may be a little like tripping over rocks and stuff, about getting a paycheck going down the road, but it won't last long. However, are you doing something to say that this is that this is a religious belief and this is why you're not getting it done?
No, I thought about it because, I'm a spiritualist, and basically we're told to listen to our intuition. So, but I thought.
But maybe you need to.
I believe that it should be our choice.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to hide behind a religious exemption. I want to stand with the people who believe that it should be our choice.
And he said,
well, that is a religion unto itself. I mean, really supporting your own choices and honoring your own inner voice. Well, it depends on how you want to define religion, but to me, that is a religion of honoring self.
Mm-hmm.
So Erik says, sometimes when we follow our truth, it's not as smooth as we think it would be. And he's telling me, just like whistleblowers, just because they expose something doesn't mean they have a peaceful life. They get a lot of death threats and yada yada, and life isn't easy for them, and they usually lose a job and all this other stuff. So Erik says this is kind of, like you're standing in your truth, and he goes, and honor that, be, and feel good about it. He says, make sure though, when you're standing in your truth, that you're standing in your truth and not inviting ego to help participate in that. And
what advice do you have for her? Because she can't go without a job, without pay for it.
Well, she's going to have to.
I can for a while though. Yeah.
But Erik says
forever.
You're not going to want to wait a while. He says you're going to want to start looking now. And there are places in Canada that don't require the vaccine, but it's just going to be searching, because you're not alone in Canada who is not getting vaccinated.
No, I'm not.
Okay, is this an example of when God opens a door, closes the door, he opens another one? Is this the universe's way of saying you have another path that you need to go on, another career or whatever, or is that not the case?
Erik says it's about opening you up more and investigating. It's about saying, okay, I'm standing in my truth, and now you're going to have to look to find the other places to get what it is you're wanting. You're going to have to be creative. You're going to have to reinvent yourself, whatever. And he says you have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of all of that from what you used to do. He says now you're going to have to put all that expertise into, you can use that in another direction.
Will she be employed with another company or self-employed, finding a new business, a new path?
I feel like she's going to do some freelancing is what Erik has shown me, like doing some freelancing for a little bit.
What kind of career? What's your career?
Erik is absolutely right. I've got a lot of experience, and it varies. Yeah. I've got finance, I've got public service, I've got admin, I've got collections, I've got real estate. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of, just investigating and looking to see which direction.
See what direction makes your heart sing. And, this might end up better for you in the long run.
It's not a test unless we make it one, but what it does is it makes us redefine ourselves, reinvent ourselves. I was listening to a podcast, I don't remember, a few months ago, anyway, about this guy who's going to college, in California, and he had to drop out because of COVID, couldn't afford it. But what he ended up doing was he put his thoughts to work in that, and he started getting all this food from the farmers and other places and getting trucks and delivering it to the people that don't have food. And he saved over 40,000 pounds of food and got it delivered to people who didn't have food. And it's a business for him.
It's awesome.
He got other college kids to help him out and do this.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
This opportunity, man, could be an opportunity for you.
Thank you. I appreciate your time. I'll let you know how it goes.
Please
keep your head up. Keep your head up, though. Erik says, keep your head up.
Yes, look, this girl is a smart cookie, okay? I feel like she's a mover and a shaker, and I bet she's super creative, will redefine herself in a glorious way.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it. Okay, got somebody from the 845 area code. Hi there, how you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Good. How can I help you? What's your first name and how can I help you?
Hi, my name is Maria.
Hi, Maria.
How are you?
Good.
Thank you for taking me. I needed to ask you two little questions. You can do that, please?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. One is, I was dreaming Korea about my daughter. I want to know if she's good the way I dream.
Has she passed on?
Excuse me?
Is she?
No. About work. My daughter.
Work. What's her first name?
Yeah, about my daughter's job.
What's her first name?
Yeah, I got it. I dream it was good. I want to know if the job, the way I dream it, going to be good.
So what's the daughter's first name? Catherine. What language do you speak? What's your native language?
I'm Italian.
Oh, Italian. Dov'è la americana? That's about all I know. Oh, God. Okay, sorry. I thought it was going to be Spanish. I could help you out. But, okay, so how's the job going to go with the daughter? Good, bad, indifferent?
So you want to know...
it's going to be good.
You want to know, is your dream accurate? Correct. Is that what you want to know?
Yeah.
Erik says yes. Erik says yes.
Good.
Yes.
What's the other question, Maria?
The other question is, I don't know if I asked you before. I'm going to ask him again. You see me, I'm going to go soon in Italy.
Are you going to Italy soon?
Yeah, I want to know. You see me, all my finances, they're going to be better. I'm going to go soon.
Yeah.
Would you be able to afford to go?
Erik says her definition of soon is, he says no, but she will be able to go back, and I just feel like it's more towards
That's Maria. Maria going back, right?
Yes.
Not your daughter, but Maria, right?
Correct. And
my name is Maria.
Erik is showing me like at the end of 2022.
Okay. All right, Maria. Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Oh,
thank you, Maria.
I really want to go to Italy again. All right, so we got somebody from the 914 area code. Hi there, how you doing?
Hi, great, thank you. How are you?
Well, we're doing great. What's your name and how can we help you? Your first name only, of course.
Sure. My name is Katie, and I'm calling from New York. And I was wondering, please, if you see me getting this job that I'm applying for, the company's name starts with the letter C.
Okay. So is there another position so the position you applied for, are they hiring for other positions as well?
Not that I know of. I mean, it's possible, but not that I know of.
Because the reason why I ask is because Erik says they really liked you. They like you, like they see on the resume. But I'm wondering if they're going to want you for a different position.
Interesting. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm open to it. That's fabulous. Yes.
Yeah. But Erik says, just, he says, people think that jobs aren't hiring, but jobs are hiring more now than they ever have.
Yes, it seems that way. Yeah, I've been looking, and it does seem that way.
Yes. So
yeah.
Erik kind of shows me you kind of moved in, so that tells me that that's a yes on the job.
Oh, that's good.
Fantastic.
Yeah. How exciting.
Congratulations. Thanks for calling. All right, I've got one from, maybe this is a Skype call. 111-111-111-111-111.
Thank you.
Hi there, how you doing?
Hello, how are you?
Good. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And how can we help you?
My name is Andrea. I'm calling from Virginia. I have 2 questions to Erik, very important for me. I want to improve my relationship with my wife and her parents. What can I do to improve it? And the second second question is on the career path. Would Erik see or recommend me any career path that I will be successful? Thank you.
Okay, so let's start with the relationship with wifey and in-laws.
Erik says if you want to improve your relationship with your wife, he said start with you. Start treating yourself the way you wish your wife would treat you. So start treating yourself that way. And also, he says how you treat yourself, he says that's going to overflow into how you treat your wife. And the way you're going to treat your wife better, and she's going to translate that to her family, and they're going to translate that back to you with kindness. So Erik says start being nice to you. Because
love yourself. Do you understand?
Erik says you're not very...
Do you even get how amazing you are? And how divine you are? And how perfect you are? A lot of times the way we're brought up, etc., that dings our sense of who we are. But no, screw that. You're awesome. And you just got to make that realization. Or real quickly, because we only have 90 seconds left.
Okay, so
career.
Erik says that on the career, Erik says the more that you start practicing kindness towards yourself, that career path, the different careers, or the change or whatever you want, will start coming automatically to you. You're just going to start knowing.
Okay.
Love
yourself. That's a good question.
Love yourself as much as we do, and Erik does. Erik, can you please help him love himself?
He says he has been. Do you talk to Erik?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, because he says he has been.
Oh.
He says that's why his phone got answered by you, was because Erik put it to the front, kind of like put it in.
I knew it was his job because 111 is not my phone number.
Oh, well, okay. That is Erik's telephone line. That is awesome. All right, well, that's really cool. And keep asking for Erik's help because obviously he cares very much about you. And he cares about all of you guys. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to our radio show. And thank you, Erik, and thank you, Denise. Y'all check her out at DeniseRamon.com. And please, this is YouTube, subscribe, hit the like button, unless you don't like it, but still hit it anyway, whatever. and hit the notification bell, and also share the love. Love you guys. Love you, Eric.
Love you, Lisa. Take care. Bye.
Bye.